This video is brought to you by Practical Music Theory for the Rock Guitarist, my new book, which is a comprehensive guide to all aspects of music theory necessary for playing rock guitar. From blues to the cycle of fifths, from understanding and using modes to choosing the right notes for a melodic solo, from pentatonic scales to chord construction and keys. It's all covered in a clear and concise manner. With accompanying video demonstrations, jam tracks and tabs, you'll learn to use the knowledge you gain in accessible ways that make sense for less than the cost of a few guitar lessons. Check out the link in the description for more details. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. Now then, this is Tuesday today, or it will be when this video goes out, and you know what we do on Tuesday. It's a top 5 list, and perhaps this should be better characterised as a bottom 5 list. If you've seen the thumbnail and the video title, which you obviously have done, then you'll know what I'm talking about, but I'll just outline it anyway. Those of us who've spent a few years or longer perhaps getting out and getting up on our hind legs in front of an audience and playing gigs, will remember the highlights. You know, those gigs where everything just fell into place like clockwork, and you know, all the synapses were firing. You played out of your skin. Everything just meshed together. The audience loved you, and it was just one of the highlights of your professional or semi-professional, kind of experience. But then there's the other gigs that you remember for all of the wrong reasons, the disasters, and, you know, the unmitigated, kind of just disasters, basically. And I thought what I'd do today is share with you a few of mine, ones that stick in my memory to this day, many years after the fact. So, let's get started with
Yorkshire Pudding Missiles.
Yeah, I've told this story years ago. I did an entire video about it. Basically, I was in this band, and it was the early 90s, and we were booked to play this place called the Acklam Garden City Social Club, which is in Middlesbrough. And if you get booked to play there on a Sunday, or certainly back then, like 30 years ago, if you got booked to play on a Sunday, you were expected to do 2 sets, a kind of a lunchtime set and an evening set. You played the same stuff each time because it was a different audience. The reason it was a different audience is because on the lunchtime it was a men-only audience, and what would happen is there would be the band, then there would be, let's just say, an exotic dancer. Yes, a stripper, basically. And then the band would come on, and then there'd be another stripper, and, the male audience would then, shuffle off home for their Sunday lunch, primed with a few beers, and the kind of bar tapas, which becomes significant in this story. I'll tell you all about that in a moment. But basically what happened was we'd been booked to play this, and we turned up on the Sunday afternoon, on the Sunday about lunchtime, about, 11 a.m, just to kind of get set up and everything before the crowd came in. And got set up, did a bit of a sound check, and all was good. And then the concert chairman comes into the room and says, a bit of a mix-up, lads. The agent, I don't know what's happened, but the strippers aren't coming today. The crowd might not be on your side. The lads might not be on your side. Okay, fair enough. And we got up on stage, and we're kind of into our set, and the room's filling up, and the guys are all there waiting to see. What the main. It wasn't us that they'd come to see, basically. We were incidental to the proceedings, and word starts kind of percolating through the room that there's no strippers, there's no naked female flesh going to be on display. And it gets a little bit fraught, shall we say? And the aforementioned tapas comes into play here. Basically, it was like a selection of cheese and pickled onions and stuff like that on the bar, and some Yorkshire puddings, little mini Yorkshire puddings with a jug of gravy. And the idea was you kind of dumped your Yorkshire pudding and had a little bit of a savoury snack. Well, when they figured out, when the audience, the fellas, figured out that they weren't going to be seeing any female entertainment, we started getting these these gravy-soaked Yorkshire pudding missiles coming at us on stage. We're up there giving it plenty on, I am the one and only. It was about that time when that song was in the charts, and we're dodging these missiles. Somehow we got through the first set. Somehow we managed it. And, retreated into the dressing room and just kind of licked our wounds and licked the gravy that we hadn't dodged. And we thought, well, we can't just abandon it because we won't get paid. We'll have to go out and at least make an attempt to do the second half. So we did, and we wandered out onto stage, and all was missing was the tumbleweed kind of blowing past. It was empty, apart from one old fella, typical sort of handicap northerner, flat cap, bottle of Newcastle brown ale. Smoking was still allowed indoors then, and he had his little tin of roll-ups and kind of puffing away, and asleep at his feet was his grey-muzzled old greyhound or whippet, or was that kind of dog, And we come back on, full of fake enthusiasm, shot through the heart, and you're to blame, and he immediately just stood up and hurled abuse at us, went off to play on the, on the slot machine in the foyer, and left the dog there. So we played the entire second half to the dog. We had a good time on the evening gig though. That was just an entirely different audience, and they loved us. But that lunchtime slot at the Acklam Garden City Club, oh dear me, yes, I remember it to this day. Next.
Oh, what a beautiful morning.
Yes, another screw up with an agency booking. The way it tends to work is an agent will have a number of venues on his books, and he sends you out to all of those venues, and sometimes they say, don't send them back here, or can we have them back again, please? Usually you go down okay, but after you've been round all of the venues that this agent has got, he'll start subletting you to other agents, and other agents will kind of swap acts basically. And I think we were on a chain of about 3 different agents. One agent had loaned us out, and to another agent who'd loaned us out again. Anyway, we got to this this working men's club. I think it was a working men's club. It was that kind of venue, big concert room, stage, all that sort of stuff. And, we knew that something wasn't quite right when we got there, because the audience didn't look like the kind of audience we'd be playing to. We were doing, as you probably gathered, all the sort of top 40 kind of slightly rocky kind of pop stuff, Bryan Adams, Bon Jovi, that kind of stuff, a little bit of a Queen medley in there as well. And and the audience looked like an average age of about 70. And we're kind of we're getting all the gear in through the back entrance and getting it loaded on, and we're seeing the audience there. So anyway, we go around to the front of the club, and we see the entertainment for this evening is a tribute to, or homage to, or some kind of something that alluded to Oklahoma. This audience were expecting, kind of, oh, what a beautiful morning, and all that kind of stuff. The magic of the musicals kind of thing. And something had got lost in translation from one agent to another, to another, to another. And the club, the concert chairman thought that that's what they were getting. And the audience certainly thought that that's what they were getting, and they'd sold tickets for this. This wasn't just a kind of a walk in and see who's on. This was like a ticketed gig, and people were, they were waving their walking sticks at us. We did do. I've got to give praise to this old couple, because like in the first set we usually put a ballad, and the ballad that we had going on was Parisian Walkways. My shining moment as a guitar player, I could do my Gary Moore thing, and this old couple would decided to make the best of it, and they got up and did like a Viennese waltz around the dance floor to Parisian Walkways. Bless them, they enjoyed at least that one, I think. But we still got paid. I thought that this is surely going to be one where this is going to be disputed, but no, we got paid, but we never, ever went back to that venue. Next.
A very different beat.
Yes, now this one, it was it was a bit. It wasn't in like a sort of club band kind of cabaret type band of the type I've been talking about already. This was in a little indie band I was in I guess about 95 or thereabouts, and we were playing this gig. And for some reason, it was like a gig that was like a good one to play, but it was way out in the sticks. You know, you kind of, you know, when you kind of drive for a little bit on the dual carriageway, and then you pull off and you kind of go up some country road, and then you end up turning down a little track that is that a road or is that just a farm track? You know, and eventually you come to this this little venue that's kind of out in the middle of nowhere, but it's absolutely bouncing, and it's, you know, there's a big audience there, or big for this kind of place. It was packed, in other words, loads of people there, and we were going to be doing this kind of a few covers, but mainly originals, kind of slightly kind of, imagine a sort of a bluesier version of an REM kind of thing. That's what we were about at the time, and lots of guitar solos, lots of fun. No money in doing it, but you know, it was great. Anyway, we're loading all the gear in, and going to do a quick sound check, and the drummer announces, I hate to say it, lads, but I forgot to pick my cymbals up when I came out the house. So he's got his whole kit there and no cymbals. And this is like 20 minutes before we're supposed to go on, and he's about an hour and a half. We're about an hour and a half drive away from home. So what we did was, well, he got very, very imaginative with his drum parts that evening. It was, perhaps the audience thought it was some kind of avant-garde, kind of thing. Lots of kind of doing stuff on the toms and kind of bass drum and stuff. You know, no cymbals at all. And I'm not sure if the audience understood what had happened. We had a good night, but it was, my heart was in my mouth all the way through, because it's like, how are we going to get away with this? Because he had to, significantly change his drum parts, obviously, to no hi-hat even, to try and make the songs work. We sort of got away with it, but it was a stressful old experience, and, it's not one I'll be willing to repeat. So, yeah, that one sticks in my memory as well. Next.
What's the key again?
Yeah, this one again. This was back on the sort of club circuit, playing to bigger audiences, and on a stage clothes, as you wear, and lighting rig, backdrop, big PA system and everything, and this band, we'd had the same singer for about a year or so, and then his shift pattern changed at work, and he couldn't make the gigs anymore, and so he was quite cut up about the fact that he had to stop being in the band. But he gave us long enough to kind of get a new singer, and it wasn't an acrimonious split or anything like that. Anyway, we had a new singer, and anytime you get a new singer, sometimes a song will have to be kind of put into a different key because of their voice and what have you. And this is what happened then. And the first gig with a new singer, I launched into, I wish I could remember the song, but I can't. But it was some long forgotten 90s kind of, it might have been an Ocean Colour Scene song. I think it might have been, I don't think it was Riverboat song, but it was something of that kind of nature. Anyway, starts off with a big guitar riff, and I came in the wrong key, and that would have been great if the singer had kind of tried to get in, and kind of maybe would have kind of got there, even with him struggling a little bit, maybe singing it an octave down. But nobody else in the band, the bass player, the keyboard player, or the other guitar player, had noticed that I'd come in the wrong key. So when everybody launched in, suddenly it was not a pleasant sound, and I'm getting evil looks from everybody on stage. When you just wish there's a trapdoor in the stage that you could just kind of drop through with a puff of smoke and be gone. we just had to, I had to kind of correct myself and remember, and then got back. By about the second verse, I was back. I was okay. It's just whether the audience noticed, I'm not sure. I'm sure they did, but in the end, the gig wasn't a bad gig in the end. But just those really embarrassing moments. And that's one that sticks in my memory, like still kind of makes me cringe, as does the next one I'm going to tell you about. So let's get on to that. Next,
Shattered.
Okay, once again, in that same band actually, and we used to do as the final song, I think, in the second set. Do you remember the old Phil Collins song, "Something Happened on the Way to Heaven"? And I think that's the one where Eric Clapton guested on guitar, and we used to do that, a big long guitar solo on the end. Excellent, great one to end the set on. And the bass player, who was kind of the main man in the band, he owned the van and the PA system and everything, and he wasn't the boss, but he was certainly the wise old owl in the band. He was the oldest one there. He says, on that guitar solo there, why don't you try doing some fancy stuff? I said, what do you mean, like Van Halen? He kind of tapped. No, he says, like, just kind of stagecraft, get the guitar up behind your head. Can you do that? So I've never really tried. So we had a rehearsal. I tried it, and as long as you're not trying to do anything too flashy or anything, just kind of stay on a basic pentatonic kind of box where you get your fingers in place first, lift it over, and then just kind of noodle around a bit. It's a visual thing. It looks okay. So I thought we'd try that. And what I failed to take into account was that the stage we were on at the time had a very low ceiling, and our lighting rig was kind of quite low down, and I'm a tall bloke, and I think you can see where this is going. It ended up with red hot bits of sharp glass from one of the lighting cans that I'd absolutely obliterated with my guitar as I went up, and I'm thinking, oh God, what's happening here? But I kept on playing. The lighting rig was that particular light was absolutely goosed, but it was the last song of the night, and sort of got away with it. But that was again another experience that I don't wish to repeat, and that was one that the audience definitely did notice. So there you go. Those are 5 of my gigging memories that I remember for all the wrong reasons, the gigging disasters. I'm sure each and every one of you have your own that you'd like to stick in the comments below, so please feel free to do that. I'm genuinely looking forward to see if anybody's had a worse experience than any of those. I'm sure you have, so tell me about it down below. But that is the video for today, folks. Hope you found it entertaining in some small way, and if that's the case, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already done so, and why not drop me a like as well while you're at it. Don't forget the live stream every Friday, 5 PM UK time. We drink beer and talk about music and guitars and stuff. Great way to kick off the weekend, and I'd love to see you there if you can make it. But for now, I'll bid you all a good day and say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Look after yourselves, folks. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, stay sane. Bye for now.